Oh, I had a drink. Shame, shame, shame. Hey everyone, I'm NornQueenAlexis, and in today's video, we are going to be going over a lot of these different posts made by GW in the last few days, and today we're going to talk about the Space Marine chapter preview, enhanced chapter tactics, GW trying to make Space Marines even better, even though they are a tournament-winning army, which are actually really solid. I don't get why they needed to update them, but they did. They did. I think I opened this twice. Okay, so let's get into this. But first, my thoughts on the new Space Marine Codex. I called it a while ago. I pretty much knew that this was going to happen. We're probably going to get a second edition of most of the top-selling armies. Chaos just got theirs, so just look down the line for the top-selling armies in 40k, which I think the next one is actually Tyranids, which would be cool. We have a lot of different units to talk about, some of which are very silly looking and some of which are actually pretty badass. So, we got some cool art here. One of my fans actually did point this out. In a lot of the new art, there's absolutely no old models. There is only new stuff. GW is doing a very, very big push for Primaris Space Marines to replace the older models. And at this point, I think it's obvious to everybody that this is the replacement. Okay, so before we focus on some of the changes to existing chapter tactics, it's worth mentioning the Crimson Fist. Fresh from their recent update in White Dwarf and Index Astartes, yada 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 yada. Okay. Crimson Fists were actually like a sleeper codex that topped at a tournament very recently. They were surprisingly powerful, and a lot of people did not expect that. Also, they're the only ones in here that show up with older Marines. And you'll see this very soon. I know that contradicts my last sentence, but sorry, my bad, I forgot Crimson Fists exist. When resolving an attack made by a model with this tactic against a unit containing at least 5 or more models, that model unit adds 1 to their hit rolls for the purposes of this tactic. A vehicle model with this tactic counts as 5 models in addition. So if you have full squads, essentially, you get 1 more down. You get a +1 to hit. So big giant intercessor squads, which are -1, are now hitting on 2+, with a captain nearby re-rolling 1s. So they're pretty much all hitting, but what makes this absolutely devastating is just sheer intercessor bombs. Like, it's crazy. Dreadnoughts with hurricane bolters and bolter discipline is insane. In addition, when resolving an attack made with a bolt weapon by a model with this tactic, an unmodified roll of a 6 adds 1 additional hit. So yeah, hurricane bolters, heavy bolters, and a whole bunch of spammed bolters. Centurions are ridiculous with this tactic. And that was one of the big things that actually showed up at this tournament and no one expected. Everybody forgets that an apothecary can actually resurrect a centurion, which is terrifying. Also, you can keep a banner of the Emperor's Ascended and have him fire all of his weapons when he dies. Yeah, have fun with that one. So, to make the most of this powerful chapter tactic, which it is very powerful, fielding multiple small units of Crimson Fist is a way to go. Units of 5 intercessors equipped with both rifles. Carefully target. Hitting on 2+, which is a massive deal. Yeah, pretty much. 5 or more models. Yeah, you want 10. It's actually really good at 10. So, nice perk, yada yada yada. Stalker bolters, yeah, the Stalker bolter is actually insane with them, because you can just kill almost anything with this. So they updated the Black Templar, and they are still in my opinion. When a charge roll is made for a unit with this tactic, you can re-roll any or all of the dice. In addition, when a model with this tactic loses a wound as a result of a mortal wound, roll it 1d6. On a 5+, the wound is not lost. So that's supposed to represent their zealotry. I can speak, I promise. And kind of like the same thing with the custodians, where they have the 6-up ignore damage from psychic powers. This is very similar to that, but it also works on all of the mortal wound weapons. And the rerolling charge is good, but if you want an assault army, you play Blood Angels. I'm sorry, Black Templar are not a... Alright, let me put this in a way that makes more sense. Blood Angels are just the best close combat Imperial army currently. They are better than Custodians. And I would wager money on that. Custodians have really good tanks, though, which is surprising. Okay. They mention Land Raiders. Successful charges in your second turn after disembarking from a Rhino or Land Raider should be no problem at all. If you're really relying on a Land Raider, you're losing. Just get a bunch of Assault Marines, jump up turn 1, and try to get that charge in. So now we're up to Imperial Fists. When resolving an attack made with a ranged weapon by a model with this tactic, that target does not receive benefits from cover to its saving throw. If the attack was made with a bolt weapon, an unmodified roll of a 6 causes 1 additional hit. Really good for aggressors, just flat out. Aggressors are just insane. Aggressors, Centurion, Devastators, yep, there they are. They're actually mentioning them down there. Are all good with Imperial Fist, but I actually like Crimson Fist better for this, mostly because of Pedro Cantor and all of their other abilities. So if I were to go Imperial Fist, I would actually go Crimson Fist. I'd go the Successor chapter. It just seems to be a little bit better in my opinion. Especially being that they're hitting on 2-up, and I'll take the hit on 2-up. Whether them getting a +1 cover save, I don't care about, especially if I'm shooting them with Stalkers, which is giving them a -1 cover, -1. So it's like, don't really care that I'm shooting an Orc who's getting a 5+, 6+ save, or anything that's getting a 4+, or even a 2+, if I'm just blasting it enough times to kill it. I'd rather take the Crimson Fists over the Imperial Fists. If you have any opinions on that and you think Imperial Fists are better, please state your reasons why in the comment section down below. I would love to hear all of your thoughts on all of these chapter tactics, by the way. So next up we have Codex Ultramarines. This is the one that I primarily use and I absolutely love. Add 1 to the leadership characteristic. Kind of not important. They shall know no rules and barely ever fail leadership tests, but on the off chance you get a +1 to it. Also, units with this tactic can shoot in the shooting phase in which they fell back. That's right. Apparently that scared the guy outside, so he drove away. Anyway, they do get a -1 to hit, though, when they do this. This is the reason I love this one so much. But let me just check, because one of my fans actually mentioned that it works on Land Raiders. So I want to see what it says down here, because normally this only affects infantry and dreadnoughts. However, a critical change to all chapter tactics in this codex is that they apply to not merely infantry, bikers, and dreadnoughts, but all units in the Space Marine detachment. This means that Ultramarines vehicles learned how to back up and actually still fire and not be dumb and scared and not do that. So finally we have Land Raiders that can back up and still shoot. Oh my god, it only took forever. I love Land Raiders. I have 4 of them for my Marines. If you saw my video of all of my Imperial tanks, there's probably like 8 in my collection. So it's cool to know that these tactics actually work on all units. So the bolter thing actually works on the Land Raider Crusader, which can take 2. It also works on the Stormraven gunship. It also works on the Forge World vehicles as well. So if you can find a way to get bolters for Imperial Fist or Crimson Fist from vehicles and whatnot, that's really good. It also works on, oh my god, it works on quad heavy bolters. Oh wow. That is terrifying. Okay, keep that in mind. Forge World units are also affected by this. White Scars. Units with this tactic can charge in which they advanced or fell back. Ridiculously good. I don't think I need to explain this. The only problem is bikes suck. I'm going to say this right now. Bikes have no way of actually dealing with... Bikes, like monsters creatures, have no way of dealing with people on the first floor. Once you're above the ground, bikes can't melee you. Biker models with this tactic do not suffer penalties for moving and firing heavy weapons, so land speeders are actually useful for them. So are attack bike squadrons. So if you want to take bikes, I would take attack bike squadrons. I'd also take veterans with meltaguns and storm shields. It's really good. Aside from that, they play similar to Dark Angels, though I will say that this one's a little bit better because you need to use Speed of the Raven in order to make the Dark Angels bikers good, where these bikers can actually advance. So they move, I think, 14 inches plus 6 is 20. So their charge distance turn 1, if they're separated by 24 inches, is a 4-inch charge if you want to hit with bikers turn 1. So if you do veterans on bikes and give them close combat weapons, like you give them all like lightning claws, or you give them all like power axes, you can actually get in turn 1 with a massive blob of bikers. You can also do this with assault marines. So they're actually a decent assault army. If you're using bikes, they're a little bit better. Tell me your thoughts on the White Scars. I want to hear it because I am very, very, very curious about this. Also, I do want to point out one more thing that I was wrong. I do apologize. I realized that I was wrong about this statement because there's bikers. They're on new bases. There's so these are old Marines. I want to change my previous statement to they don't include tactical Marines. Okay? Okay? I'm changing it to tactical Marines. Is that okay? Anyway, moving on, we have the Raven Guard, which still to this day is one of my favorite chapter tactics, and I typically use this when I use my Devastator company. And this changed quite a bit. So when resolving attacks made from ranged weapons on a unit with this tactic that's more than 12 inches away, you subtract 1 and they count as cover. More than 12 inches away is treated as having the benefits to cover to its saving throw. And if the unit is not a vehicle, is entirely on or in or within terrain, you subtract 1. So if they're in terrain, they get a cover save. If they are more than 12 inches away, they're minus... Well, oh my god, I can do this, I swear. If they're in terrain, -1 to hit. If they're 12 inches away, +1. So they actually get like a +2 to their cover save. So ruins, which are normally +1, are giving them +2. So your scouts with sniper rifles will have a 2-up save, which is really good because this stacks with the effect of cover. Actually, does it? Does it? No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Sorry, my bad. They count as being in cover, so they're getting +1. You give them camo cloaks for the next +1, and then they get -1 to hit if they're 12 inches away. So it's still really good, and your scouts will survive quite a bit into this game. Or if you're like me and you're looking at those Primaris Eliminators, which actually look really badass, except for that one guy who removed the scope to look through it like an idiot, they're ridiculous. Sniper rifles this edition are really good for picking out characters. They're just good rounded weapons, in my opinion. I do like the Raven Guard one, especially with like quad mortars and things of that nature. Silly things that that are just going to be busted with this. Again, I'm thinking Forge World units are going to be really good. For some reason, this shows Storm Ravens. I guess they're treated as benefiting from cover. So that's cool. And then they show Assault Marines. Well, the Intercessors. Salamanders. When a unit with this tactic fires Overwatch or is chosen to shoot or fight with, you can reroll a single hit roll, and you can reroll a single wound roll with one unit. Okay. When resolving an attack made with this weapon, that has an armor penetration characteristic of -1 against the unit with this tactic. It is treated as -0, so bolt weapons are just 0 AP. It's just pretty good, but that's going to be forgettable. The reroll is going to be really, really, really solid for min units, especially min units that are using like Devastators. Like, I love Devastators. I'm sorry. They're like my go-to for Space Marines. I really love them. Ooh, they could be good with Dreadnoughts. I didn't think about that. Oh, you know, I am eating my words because that's a tactical Marine squad. Oh, that's like veterans, but still, I am eating my words. I was wrong. I'll admit that. The flesh is weak, Corvies. Anyway, when a model with this tactic loses a wound, roll a d6. On a 6, it is not lost. When resolving, Overwatch is 5 and 6. In addition, models with this tactic have a damage table considered to have double the number of remaining wounds. So this is where you take your dreadnoughts, your tanks, your artillery, and your nasty stuff. This is where, if I'm going to run my my tank company, I'm going to be taking Iron Hands because I always treat it as the tanks are healthy. So I can keep firing and I can keep repairing them. So it's pretty good, and they have a way of saving themselves. They also overwatch on 5s and 6s, which is cool for tanks. My neighbor is mowing his lawn while it's raining outside. I swear I always get weird neighbors. And that is it for now. So, with that being said, this video has gone on for a few minutes. I'm going to X this out, and I'm going to skip the create your own chapter. I might do a separate video on that. The new units I might talk about, but I do want to talk about the Scions of Guilliman. So this is kind of really neat. It talks about all of the unique stuff to the Ultramarine book, which I kind of called. Just saying. Actually, you know what? I want to talk about the new units. I want to talk about them. They are silly. They are kind of stupid. The Impulsor squad looks pretty cool. That's okay. I like the tactical scope. I really like that tactical scope. And it's only cool because he has 3 of them. If he cannot see you, one of him will see you. I don't know where I was going with that. This squad is an alternative build for a multi-part infiltrator kit, which is cool. In addition, being armed with Oculus Bolt carbines, that's kind of cool, that rob the enemy of cover. Well, that kind of makes the Imperial Fist thing obsolete. Also multi-spectrum array, blah, 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 blah. Let's see what their weapon actually is. Oh. Huh. If you want a unit that can drive an enemy from its cover with punishingly accurate volleys of rapid fire range from outside of the battle, you'll want the Impulsor squad or several. Eldari Rangers will soon learn to fear the... I usually assault Rangers. So, I actually upped the blade, which for some reason won't pop up, which is really annoying. So, I'll just go ahead and do this really quickly. Paired combat blade. It's literally just a chainsword. Ooh, no, it's not. When resolving an attack made with this weapon, an unmodified hit roll of a 6 scores 1 additional hit. Ooh, that's actually pretty cool. I like that. That dude stole that from an orc. That's one of the orc bombs that they used to carry. Infiltrators. I'm probably not going to get these guys. I know I should be talking about these guys, but I think they're silly looking. They're essentially just... Like, look at them. They look like Vindicari assassins, which I guess is kind of what they were going for. Like the infiltrator battle builders, incursors carry smoke grenades and can set up in concealed positions, but the squad is equipped with a haywire mine. Why not just a haywire grenade? That can be planted mid-battle. Once primed, the first enemy unit that moves within 3 inches of the Haywire Mine risks suffering D3 mortal wounds. I guess GW doesn't know what a Haywire weapon does. But okay. Or D3 plus 1 if it is a vehicle. Okay, see, that makes more sense. Before the mine is then removed, by fielding a number of small units, you can lay enough Haywire Mines to make it nearly suicidal to approach. Oh my god, that's so silly. That is so silly. Like, I would just lay out blast templates, like the old GW blast templates, because those are about 3 inches wide. To just lay those things out. Like, this is where I'm placing it. Boop. Blast template down. So that's pretty cool. I don't like the way he's holding his bolter, but overall I like this model. Looks kind of cool. I do like that they're going for the more tactical appearance of Marines. It makes a lot more sense, and they're doing a lot more Marine-like stuff. If you fancy being more unapologetic aggressors, that sneaky, we're taking up blah, 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 blah. Our next entry has a number of ways to help. So this is the new hover tank thingy. Kind of like it. This guy is just so happy right here. And this guy is just playing on his iPad. Yeah. The Impulsor is a fantastic all-around support vehicle. In addition to its huge variety of weapon options and other handy upgrades, it also has a nifty transport options for your Primaris Space Marines. It's able to bear 6 Primaris Lieutenants. Wow, that's so specific. Anyway, no, it's meant for a 5-man squad plus a lieutenant or plus a captain or plus a psyker. Or when we finally get it, plus the tech marine, which you could just... Nah, you can't because they don't have that open. Although you could put an apothecary in there too. Or a chaplain. Ooh, can you put aggressors in there? That's a question. Anyway, assault vehicle. After this model moves in the movement phase, if the model did not advance, any units embarked aboard it can disembark. Units that do so cannot be chosen to charge with that turn. That is really good for aggressors. So if this allows aggressors, that's insane. Okay. Let's see. Orbital comms array. In the shooting phase, one model in your army with an orbital comms array that has not been used in this battle can use it to call an orbital barrage. If it does so, select 1 point on the battlefield and roll a d6 for each unit within d6 inches of that point. Subtract 1 from the result being rolled if it is a character. On a 4+, that unit being rolled suffers d3 mortal wounds. Oh my god, that's terrifying. Okay, that's just being a jerk to your opponent. One model from your army with an orbital comms relay that has not been used this battle can use it to call an orbital barrage. Does that mean if you take 3 squads of these guys, you can call down 3 of them? You'd have to do it 3 different turns though, right? Doesn't say it's only once. It just says 1 unit can do it. So if I have 3 units, I should be able to do it 3 times. And I can lay 3 mines down. Wow, these guys are insane. And if you pair them up with Crimson Fists, you get all of that bolter stuff as well. That's pretty solid. And now it's high noon, so this guy is out. He looks better painted black, I will admit that. Oh my god, he's holding his bolt. Oh my god, he looks adorable. Pew, 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 die heretics, pew, pew, pew. The baby stroller looks absolutely hilarious. I am not going to lie, this thing is just, it's adorable. It's obvious, it's adorable. There's no other way of putting it, it's adorable. What I want to do is I'm going to cover this up. I'm going to put a little bit of plastic card behind the roll cage and just paint it up as glass. Just so it looks a little bit better. Because right now it looks bad. Or I'm going to put a dreadnought plate on it and just... Yeah, I'm going to run it with the dreadnought plate on it. Like, it's cool that the guy's behind it and everything, but open cockpit walkers, even though the dude is in power armor, still annoys me. So we actually see what his cannons do, which is pretty cool. The Don't even want to try to read that. Heavy 2d6, strength 5, AP -1, 1 damage. It's not a bolt weapon. When resolving an attack made with this weapon, do not make a hit roll. It automatically scores a hit. Oh, that's 12 inches at 2d6. Oh my god. That's really good. That's a heavy flamethrower with 12 inches. That's actually 2 heavy flamethrowers with 12 inches. Twin iron hail autocannons. I really thought those are heavy stubbers. Okay. Heavy 6, strength 7, AP -1, 2 damage a pop. Decent weapon. Just all around decent weapon. Of course, we couldn't talk about... Yeah, I don't care about that. And you could yellow pistol. It's so adorable. It's high noon. Look at how serious he looks in there. He's like, I'm gonna get you, jerk. So, okay, I'm gonna say this right now. And people are gonna get offended by this. And I apologize if you're offended. Where a dreadnought is for those who are handicapped in body, this thing is for those who are emotionally crippled by battle. It's an emotional support dreadnought. I'm sorry. It's a heavy bolter with pistol 3. It is absolutely adorable. It is so cute that he has that. It's adorable. It's so adorable. It's just so cute. I'm sorry. He's like, pow, pow, pow. It's so cute. I thought this model was ridiculous, but it got better. Whew. Brothers, I think there's enemies nearby. Better check my auspex too. This bolter looks intense. What am I even doing here? I think this guy's over here. Like silly. Poor Eldar Guardians. Look at them on their 25mm bases. They look like garbage. Put them on 32s. Infiltrator comm array. Whilst this unit contains a model with the infiltrator comms array... Sorry. If there are any friendly chapter Phobos captains or chapter Phobos lieutenants, bring those Phobos Marines because nobody brings those models on the battlefield. This unit is always treated as being within range of those models' rights of battle and tactical precision abilities. Neat! They get the aura abilities. Finally, we've got a squad, such a choice for an awesome yada yada yada. Wait, what? Would make a Vindicari assassin Scythian turn green with envy. That's lame. Why is he holding his gun like that? Why does this guy remove his scope? Why is this one the only intelligent one? Can I just buy this guy? I will just take 10 of this guy, yes please. Or 9 of this guy, yes please. Because this guy has no idea what he's doing. He has removed his scope from his gun, which makes that scope useless. And this guy just looks silly. Flat's Fusel. 36 inches, heavy 1, strength 8, AP -3, 3 flat damage. Holy crap, this weapon is amazing. It doesn't have sniper ability. Alright, let's see. Primaris Space Marines wearing camo cloaks and armed with an 8-foot-long gun. What's not to love? Well, I don't know. Maybe the guy removing the scope from his gun when he has the goggles on his head, also revealing his face being pale white while carrying purity seals and bright blue armor might do it. But I digress. I know that those are camo cloaks and they work on sci-fi magic, which turns you invisible. So that's fine. Also, this guy's got goggles on. I think that's kind of cool. It's also cool to see some darker skinned Marines. I think that's awesome. We need more representation for that in 40k. Aside from the comics where they're literally turning their guns sideways and shooting, which was asinine. But anyway, let's go through this. These deadly marksmen can target enemy characters. Awesome, they're snipers. With their bolt snipe rifles, ammo types, executioner, hyperfrag, and mortis rounds. Okay. And their ammo profiles have been ramped up for starters. They're now all strength 5. Ooh. That means they wound on 3s against most characters. And it's Tyranids, I don't care. Alternatively, You can assemble your Eliminators with las fusils, which are yada 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 anti-tank weapons. Why not just take a las cannon? I think I'll take a las cannon because the las cannon is heavy 1 but 48-inch range and a damage d6, so it's maybe better. 3 damage is still really good. It's also strength 9, so it wounds knights easier. So it's cool to arm these guys with different things. I think that's cool. So I'm interested to see what the bolt weapons actually do. I don't care about that. Do I care about this? Sergeant is equipped with an integrated bolt carbine. Is perfectly for luring enemy characters into a trap. Yeah, whatever. These guys will be really cool with Raven Guard. As I said earlier, you want your snipers with Raven Guard. They're really good. You can also use them with, like, if you're using the bolt weapons, you can actually use them with Crimson Fist to be really, really, really effective. Or you can actually use them, and this is where I would suggest Imperial Fist, where you don't get that +1 to their cover save. So that's pretty cool. Covering fire. The first time this unit's Eliminator Sergeant fires Overwatch with an integrated bolt carbine in your opponent's turn, this unit can, after it has resolved its Overwatch, move as though it were the movement phase. It cannot advance as part of this move. Okay, so it can move 6 inches, which if you have them on ruins is actually really powerful because you can actually drop down multiple levels, making it so your opponent has to drop down and actually follow you, which means you get 6 inches away. So really good. Non-Codex chapters are also getting these, like Blood Angels, Space Wolves, and Dark Angels. They're getting all of these, but I guess the Grey Knights don't, because reasons. It doesn't look like the Deathwatch do as well, but I could be wrong. Angels of Death, Combat Doctrines. So now we get the Doctrines. Now this is something from 7th edition, which I think is really cool, because 7th edition was interesting until they brought formations into it. The armor penetration characteristics of heavy and grenade weapons this model is equipped with is improved by 1 whilst this combat doctrine is active. Wow. You see these guys? They just went, if you use Crimson Fist, or no, Imperial Fist, they just went strength 8, damage, AP -4. Yeah, holy cow. All right, let me actually read how these combat doctrines work. Combat doctrines represent a structured way in which, you know what, I'm just going to skip that part. I'm going to go right to where I actually care about it. It does not apply to them, but to all of the chapter and any successor chapter you've created. Use this rule for Codex Space Marines. Here's how it works. Your Space Marines will begin the battle with the Devastator Doctrine active. At the start of any of your turns, after the first, you can choose to change the Devastator Doctrine to Tactical Doctrine. And again, later that turn. Wow, you can do it multiple times a turn. The Tactical Doctrine to Assault Doctrine. Once you've changed your doctrine, you can't go back. Your Space Marines are already committed, which seems kind of silly considering they're supposed to be Space Marines and completely, adept to switching really quickly. But your current doctrine will remain active for the remainder of the battle unless it's changed. Here's where you benefits you can look forward to. So one thing that's really cool is it looks like it affects everything in the detachment, which also means it affects like your tanks and things of that nature. So the Devastator Doctrine, improving AP of -1 of heavy weapons. I like to spam heavy weapons. I have taken lists with 27 las cannons in it just for the fun of it, and it was amazing. Let's see. The armor penetration characteristic of rapid fire assault weapons this model is equipped with is improved by 1. Holy cow, intercessor bombs are a thing. Man, I would just take 6 squads of intercessors with Crimson Fist with this, because you get additional hits, you get additional everything, and it becomes AP -1 as well. And assault doctrines are the armor penetration characteristics of pistols and melee weapons is improved by AP -1. Oh my god, this is insane. So I'd use the Assault Doctrine for like White Scars and Black Templar. I would use the Tactical Doctrine for Crimson Fists. And I'd use the Devastator Doctrine because pretty much everything that I bring is a heavy weapon. So they're amazing. The Deathwatch and Grey Knights will also be gaining the Shock Assault abilities. And don't forget the Deathwatch now have access to the Primaris Repulsor Executioner. Okay, that's pretty cool, but the Grey Knights don't. Anyway, with all of this said, I want to know what combos you are thinking of. I want to know everything that you are thinking because I want to make a perfect video explaining how to use these in the future. So please comment in the comment section down below how you want to use these doctrines, how you want to use the new chapter tactics, and what units are going to shine for you. Personally, I think aggressors and centurions are going to be the main picks for an army at this point. And devastators. Can't go wrong with devastators. And eliminators. Maybe suppressors. And bolt weapons. You know what? Almost everything in the Codex right now is good except land speeders. They will always be bad. Anyway, guys, I want to know your thoughts. Comment in the comment section down below. Please do it. Also, while you're down there, be sure to subscribe to the channel, which is like over here-ish thingy, and ring that stupid bell thingy, which is like right here. That stupid bell thingy allows you to see my content when it's released. Because for some reason, I have no idea why, but for some reason, YouTube will not show you my content unless you ring that stupid bell thingy. Anyway, if you guys want to check out other social media that I'm on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, everything pretty much. Twitch, I play a lot of games and do a lot of painting streams, so please be sure to check that out. If you guys want to be super awesome, you can donate to my Patreon. Patreon goes a long way to helping out the channel. I intend to do a giveaway very soon to my patrons, so be sure to stay tuned for that. I don't do a lot, but I do a few exclusive videos for Patreon. So be sure to check it out. It goes a long way to helping out the channel, and it helps it grow, keeps my lights on, keeps my belly fed, and I like food. Anyway, guys, I'm NornQueenAlexis. I love you guys. Bye.